Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P-Farm. Thinking right out here in the lab while I do what I do for you. I'm back in the book. We're going to do a Q&A today. How about that? I got some questions I can answer for you, so we're going to take care of that. Before we get started, let's go. Excuse me. What is it? 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. Message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You told me to receive them. We got a good thing going. I appreciate you too. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission, that's what I'm on, is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's go. So I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you out with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not. It's simple. You can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and thinks that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know that self, and to my yacht, be true. Right thinkers, let's talk about the Q&A of Heru, which is you. I just gave the last lesson about Heru in different phases and different aspects. Now I'm going to wrap up Heru with a Q&A lesson that's going to break a few things down about Heru. All right, then we head to set. We're about to take the first round and knock it down. Let's go. The question is, do all these divinities have these different aspects? I can explain to you, they are all aspects of your personality. I'm trying to break it down as I go. This is the whole purpose. I brought you from the top of the tree down to the bottom. Now I'm taking you back up the tree. After you get back up to the top, you should be familiar with that's it. Okay, that's the idea. And the answer to that question, yes. For the most part, they all have different aspects or parts of some are more concrete, while others are a little more subtle, like the elements. They also have some aspects of what that are more important than others, or rather may say that some are more dynamic, while others are more passive or more mundane aspects of your personality. And some are more important for what aspirants, right thinkers, at different levels. That's what we're going to learn. Everyone has a level that you got to worry about and master to move up. When certain teachings are learned and mastered at different levels of spiritual evolution, you're growing, you're ascending spiritually. You see me do this? That's the wings that you have to ascend. Okay? And perhaps Heru, again, which is you. When I say Heru, that's us. Has the most aspects and forms. I just told you about the phases of Heru. He still have more. I just didn't go to all of them because he have a lot. He's the main focus. Okay? Again, you. So next question is, does Heru principles have to be mastered before moving on to the others? Yes, yes, and yes again. Same concept in Masonic order. You can't get another degree of information and knowledge without showing what suitable proficiency in the preceding degree. When you're working on your chakras, you had 1 year of working and mastering that one chakra, the red chakra. You should know everything about that chakra before I give you information on the orange one and then on to the yellow before you get to the green. These 3 colors, red, yellow, and orange, low level vibrational colors. Can't see it. They bright, they lovely. At McDonald's, all that big stuff. That's all psychological, symbolical nonsense to keep you what? Here. Next lesson coming up, I'm going to break that down for you. But that's the concept. Don't get caught up in the colors. They all represent something. Know what it is, and then move on. Don't get stuck on it. Red is my favorite color, but I understand it's just the beginning. The devil is what? Red. This the lowest level. It starts at red. You work your way up. Now I'm purple. Moving on. That's what you want to be. That's royalty. Let's ask the question, do Heru principles have to be mastered to be moving on to other? Yes, everyone has to be mastered by you. I'm cringing. Again, yes. Why? Because Heru is a neophyte aspirant, right? Thinkers, you all are beginners. You're all learning. You're coming in to learn how to what? Know thyself, aka master thyself. Yes, Heru, you are in neophytes, aspirants, moving where? Toward mature aspiration. If you don't have aspiration, how are you going to move on to discovering what the other divinities mean? You have to want to. Aspiration is desire to want more, to want better for oneself. So hence we are aspirants in life. We want better for ourselves, aka right thinkers. So remember the goddess Nu, heaven. Okay? She is not the goddess Nu is the one that brings what? You up to her. When Asar died, she reached down and brought him up to her bosom, conceptually. That's going back to heaven. Heaven, Nu represents the mother of who? Your spirit, your intuitive knowledge, your ego, your mortality, which is there, and Heru, you at mastery. That's the goal, and those are 5 things that Nu, or the 5 children that Nu gave birth to. So she's the mother of creation. Again, going back home to moms. Moving on. That's where the concept comes from. Asar was the first. Okay? She raises up Asar. That's why when you pass the scales of Mayat, you go sit with Asar, and Nu brings you back home. Okay? You become one with yourself, your higher self, aka Asar. I become Asar Mark. I go back home to my mom Nu. Let's go. Symbolically. She does not raise up Set, the ego. That's her son. She still ain't raised him up. I got a story where a mother said her son wasn't no good. I argued that point didn't make a difference. She knew something about him that obviously I didn't. If she wasn't breaking, she wasn't giving, she felt that way for a reason. I had to understand that and realize that. But now, Nu refuses to bring Set into heaven. He's earthbound. He can't take off. He's a 4-legged animal. That's why your spirit is signified by the falcon or the hawk or bird. Why? It can fly. It can ascend. Set don't have wings. He's a 4-legged animal. That's the ego. It stays here with the body. Moving on, conception. Excuse me. So she does not raise up Set, okay, for reasons. And so one must be what? Able to master how to what? Be a righteous aspirant. Do the right thing daily. Everything I manifest or profess has got to be done daily. How to practice daily the teachings, otherwise one's aspiration will be throttled. If you don't put in the work on a daily basis, it's not going to work. And even if one's very desire to study the teachings will be throttled. Why? Ego. Why? Because this is what Heru represents. One's very inkling to what? Study, to aspire to be better, to raise the teachings of right thing philosophy or Maya philosophy. Also, if the desire for spiritual aspiration, enlightenment, is tainted with Set, aka your ego, what happens? Even if you are the person who displays great devotion or you do good works, that will be contaminated with what? Egoism, meaning you're doing it for a hidden agenda. You're stealing in the name of the Lord. Those fake preachers, those bootleg guys, those are guys we're talking about. Okay, we're familiar with them too. They're not new. Okay, understand that. Crooked professors, like crooked prophets, have been known for a long time. False prophets, same thing. So, but if you are egoistic, you will contaminate your spiritual growth. You will contaminate your aspiration to be better. Why? You stuck on stupid, so to speak. So what happens? So that spiritual practice of you will be what ultimately block. Why? Because they will be prevented from moving higher because the desires for your self-mastery in you will become enlightened. That's Heru conscious in that person. Y'all call it Christ consciousness. So then, when you're working on you to be a better you, you have to conquer the ego self. And that's the one who just want what they want. Okay? If you don't conquer that, you're not going to advance. You're not going to become Heru, the real you. Why? You're going to be stuck in her ego mode. And watch this. They will start taking, who will come, okay, but if you pursue Heru in the wrong or Satanian ignorant fashion, you will be able, you will be like what? Those aspirants or students who come into the lecture class and start what? Dictating to the teacher what the teaching is supposed to say and do. Come and take over the room. I had to deal with that nonsense too. You politely put them in check because they don't run your classroom. If you're the teacher, you're the master, you dictate and control all of that. If they get out of line, just kick them out. So, and what happens? Those kind of people, they will start talking instead of what? Listening. When you got somebody who always wants to be heard, but they never got nothing to say, ignorant, and you can tell them by what come out of their mouths. So if they want to talk first, usually you might have to get rid of them. And because they have read a few things and they think that they know what they're teaching is what the teaching is all about, if you read my books and then come at me, well, it said this, you said that. No. You might have got it wrong. Okay, trust me. They selectively, again, selective memory and selective understanding is what most ignorant people do. And they follow the teachings that they agree with. What they like, yeah, okay, that's cool. But what goes against what they believe, okay, whoa. But you believe that nonsense about God coming down and being this and teaching that, but you don't want to believe the truth. That's ignorance. Moving on. And when the teachers don't agree with their or what they go along with, their egoistic desires or their ignorant notions of what it should be or what they believe it is, or their intellectual convictions and that pride and aspect of what all that's egoism. And you followers of belief, whether it be Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, Hindu, y'all all hell bent on thinking your way is the best. I just tell you, I have a way. I tell you, if it's 9 billion people walking the earth, there's 9 billion ways to get to God. I ain't telling you got to be a Muslim to get to God. He's a real God, blah, blah, blah. Come on, man, that's ignorant. You don't see that because you're the one doing it. I can see it. Why? I'm looking at you saying, really? Really? If what you're doing works for you, the people who see you doing it, they will follow you. Simple as that. I start out with 0 subscribe right thinkers. Now I got over 2,000. So I'm doing something right. Moving on. And that egoism will keep you from what? Becoming humble. Ego ain't humble at all. Enough to what? Open up to the real learning, the truth, aka if you are hell-bent on the belief, you're not going to engage in anything other than what you believe in. Simple as that. That's a proof. That's a fact psychologically. I understand that. So please don't get annoyed or offended with me for giving you the truth. And if you believe something, you don't know the truth. Simple. Moving on. I don't care what it is. Where you get yours from? Pyramids. But also, right thinkers, you are Heru, and you're in the lower aspect. Why? Because you're still fighting Set. I got the picture to show you. I meant to show you this earlier. Sorry about that. But this is what it looks like. We get into this part. We're coming up on that. You see that? One body with 2 heads, right? One is looking one way and the other looking the other way. Which one do you want to follow? Okay? They show you a picture of legs. Okay? When the legs are going this way, good. Legs going that way, bad. So it's always been a choice. It's always been known you can do this or you can do that. My God gives you that. Moving on. Let me wrap this up. I got another page to go. But watch this. When you do that, You never heard of. They are like what? Blind people or animals walking the face of the earth, just going through the motions, just doing whatever comes natural, living their lives on what? Their own basis of what? Instinct. Again, human animal instinct is the first three levels. If you live on that level, you're not going to make past the scales of Maya. Why? Because you are ignorant. And what that does is throttles your intellectual capacity and your ability to follow truth, even when it stares them right in the face. Booyah! Psychologically, if you're given a lie, a bad concept, a false teaching, you're going to be stuck on stupid until what? Somebody come and try to correct you, and you're not going to adhere to what somebody's saying because you believe what you were told. And if what you was told is a lie, you're believing a lie. And when you create miracles on believing a lie, that's why it's a miracle, because you're not supposed to have done it. But your belief makes you that much stronger and better. And they freak out when we do it. So how about we just get the truth? You got to work that hard to create miracles. Just my concept, I'm just saying. So watch this. So here we will gain more insight, hopefully, into what? The number 3. The 3 aspects of a Nikaku, which is the flare with the 3 aspects, and there are the areas to be what? Controlled with what? Self-mastery. Keeping yourself in check. Watch this. You got the physical, which is the top, which is the conscious state. On 3 states of mind also. Break it down right quick as we go. The tie, the physical is the tie, the lowest level. The pet is heaven. That's the astral level. That's the subconscious. That's what runs the body. The casual is the unconscious level that you reach when you go to that deep sleep, when you go to that not dream state. That's your unconsciousness. You don't remember that because you haven't reached it consciously. So you aren't enlightened enough to know thyself at that level. That's why the I where it signifies he sees all in his internal, not up there. Moving on, where I'm at. Okay, now you got what? Physical, astral, and the casual. Just broke it down for you right quick. Your consciousness, physical, subconscious is the astral, and your unconscious aspects is your casual. Corresponding to what? I just told you, the ta, physical, earth, pet, heaven, astral, and the duat, which is the unconscious, which is the casual state, and all these realms respectively. And another aspect that is represented here is what? That there are 3 basic modes of consciousness as it manifests in life on earth. One is the instinctive level, one is the intellectual level, and the third is what? The intuitional level. If you are operating at the instinctive level, that's animal, beastly nature, you are no better than an animal. Again, and people are called animals. Why? As we discussed earlier previously on Wall Street, you are what your attitude and what you come off as. If you braggadocious, you're a bull. If you lay back, then you're bad, you're smart. So when you act a certain way, again, how about the N-word? When we act out like that, that's what we doing. Okay, I call it nigger stuff. Okay, we keep doing it. It's ignorant. Okay, lazy and shiftless. Moving on. They call what? They call you in accordance with what? The way you are acting. If you God conscious, you're a good Christian, Muslim, Jew, you're going to act in a certain way. If you're faking it, guess what? You're going to act in another way. That's the hypocritical part about claiming to be something and not doing it what you claim you are, or acting in the ways you claim you are. If you're Muslim, follow Allah, come in peace, but you are selling drugs and knocking people aside the head, you ain't a good Muslim. Moving on, that's the concept. And it go for any one of y'all. Any other group, same thing. I don't split hairs. All of y'all, same thing. Hypocrites. If you're not doing what you claim to be all the time, hypocrite. I write things all the time. Moving on. If you are a lustful man or woman, they'll call you a wolf. If you are a heavy investor on Wall Street, they call you the bull. Again, that's the concept. I just showed you the body, one body and 2 heads. That's called Heru and Set, as 2 personalities in one. I call it the moral battle. Why? Good versus evil. And y'all occupy the same space. The phrase, devil get behind me. That's telling Seth, get back there. I don't mind you back there. I want you back there. Why? You keep my back. You watching my back. And it's good. He's the best person to have watching your back. Why? He's the fighter. He ain't going to give in. So talk about that right quick. As explained earlier, as an ordinary worldly human being, your soul, which is a soul, eternity, which is forever, immortality, has made it with who? That. You got weak, you see worldly things, you took a shot, okay? And your desires of mortality. Now, in a sense, you have now taken on what? The role of the ego. You want to satisfy your ego lust desires. And what? The divinity who represents egoism. So you have awareness of yourself within the context of mortality and worldly desires and what? Not as an immortal and infinite being. You are spiritual beings, divine spiritual beings, thinking what? We're just human beings. That's being mortal. The scripture also demonstrates what? That this combination of what? The Heru in you and the Set in you is a source what causes a conflict that must be resolved within yourself. The composite image of Heru and Set is called Herfy, Herfy, okay? And it's the two personalities. It illustrates in an iconographic way that Heru is afflicted within what? An outer personality. He must what? Do battle with that personality. That's you in order to what? Separate himself from it. Lower nature's running the show. I got to conquer my lower nature. That's the Heru you aspire to raise and be better. Watch this. And throw off the unrighteousness of the personality, the ego self. He, of course, attains ultimate victory when, in the form I just told you, Wajet. I mean, he's the sun disk with the two serpents with the wings. That's the most powerful phrase. He had to become the best he can to beat what? The ego self. You need help. But the journey of what? That self-discovery, the psycho-spiritual journey, and the struggle for what? Control of what? The personality is a lengthy and arduous one. They fought for over 80 years. Okay, so I mean, it ain't gonna happen overnight. And gaining self-mastery is just like that. It won't happen overnight. It's gonna be a long, arduous road. And one requiring what? Much patience. And repeated, constant, daily effort. Why? Because Set is like that appendage. In a popular term, okay, monkey in your back. That's where the first concept comes from. When you carry something that don't mean you no good, and you continue to contribute to it, it's going to grow. Now we got a what? A gorilla. See the concept? So the idea of monkey in the back would not be an appropriate reference because that's what it seems like. But even though Set is an illusion, divinity, why? Because you create him out of your own conscious mind. That becomes you. Y'all call him the devil. And he's had what? Remember, understand this. Your ego has great power of what? Generation. That is the power to generate what? Trouble, entanglements, okay, fetters. Just keep getting you in trouble. Just keep doing the same dumb stuff. Not learning from the lessons prior, and we'll do it again. Again, the ego high lift is what a man hatchet to his head, with a hatchet to his head, and you get entanglements through your desires and your unrighteousness, and etc. Constantly doing the wrong thing, which lead a person to what? Much expenditure of time pursuing what? Futile opportunities for happiness. You think making money, being rich and famous, having all the girls, that's going to make you happy. No, momentary set of gratification. Don't last long. And thereby eventually it'll leading to what? Frustrations and again suffering. We suffer. I like the Hindu concept. Master, why do we suffer? We suffer because we're ignorant and we desire physical things, carnal, I call it the carnal life, yeah, but people, the body have desire. If you give into your lower nature, which all they want is pleasure, fun, and fight or flight mode, you can live that way, it won't get nowhere. And Set, what has the power to what? Delude your soul, has given that power to him by what? When you believe in yourself. Me, I, that's ego. That is believing in egoistic things, indulging and feeding what the ego, the desires for your ego over periods of lifetime. Meaning, you've done this before. You obviously why you're back again, so you can continue to do the same thing. The idea is to wake up, know thyself, and go home. But you keep doing what you want to do in that physical body, you're going to stay here in the physical realm. So set is to what? Be overcome. You have to conquer your lower nature by what? Maya, virtue, and through Sabat, meaning a spiritual preceptor of philosophy, an instructor teaching what? Educating on the wisdom philosophy from who? Aset, my favorite girl. As long as Set remains as an independent aspect of your personality, your character, outside of the control of the conscious of your personality, you will never reach Heruhood. Heru, or the aspirant, right thinker, promoting what? Desires based on ignorance of what? The higher self. Again, there will be conflict. The higher self wants to get in control. Lower self says, I ain't giving up the reins. Now you got a mortal fight, or a moral internal fight. And those desires will thwart what? Your spiritual progress, and there will be confusion and even failure in what? The mind, and consequently also in your spiritual practices. When Heru, here we go, eventually is victorious over Set. Okay, what that means? And he gains control over himself. Set, great power is now harnessed and put into the task of what? Spiritual practice. Now you do what I tell you to do. That's how you put Set in the service mode. And what's he going to be doing? Right here. This is what he's doing. This picture. That's Ra in the underworld. You see him right there? Set fighting off Apophis. You see the boat that they on? Apophis' body is what they're rolling on. They're not rolling on water. That's Apophis' body. That's how big he is. And he's a big, giant serpent. And you see everybody's on the boat. You got Ra who ain't doing nothing. He's just chilling. Okay, he ain't doing nothing. So he got his doors for that. Excuse me. What the what? Okay, right round the mouth. Excuse me. But you see them, that's Heru back there with the falcon head behind Ra, and that's Tahuti, his mind. They don't do no physical, no. That's why we got what? Bodyguards. Their job is to protect. So you put Set, he's the original first bodyguard. Watch this. Now, this is strongly symbolized, and you got two Pacific iconographs. I'm going to show you the other one in a minute. The one where Set is fighting against the serpent of chaos, the original bad guy, Apophis, on behalf of who? Ra. So he can't be bad if he's servicing Ra against the bad guy, the real bad guy. So the one or two divinities, you got Heru and Set, what? Tying off the knot of unity in the higher and lower self, which they come together. Finally, they made a truce, and the lotus and the papyrus on the sema symbol. See below, I'm showing it to you in a minute. In that time, there is no longer what? Disorder within itself, harmony, higher and lower working together as one, but rather you have balance and unity, and now that's power. You take your aspiration of power, knowledge, and wisdom, intuitive understanding. You mix that with the fight that Set gives you. You bad man. Now you are unbeatable. Here, there is separation from what? There is separation from Set and Neptet, and the capacity to what? Move upwards and forwards on your psycho-spiritual journey. Where? Towards Asar and Aset and beyond. That's just the next level. I'm going to wrap it up. Showing you this little part right here. They tying up upper and lower self, representing right there. They call it Sema-Heru, Set and Heru. Wrap it up for you with a quick lesson. Set, Sema-Heru. You got Heru and Set tying the knot of the higher and lower self. The image above I just showed you is a rendition in the concept of what? Reuniting of Heru and Set, demonstrating peace between the two adversaries. Until you conquer your ego, he's going to fight. He ain't giving up. So you got to put stronghold, hold him where you got to put him in the work position. And the divinities representing virtue, which is Heru, that's good. You got vice, which is Set, bad. actually make peace, and in so doing foment a similar or union. They tie the lotus flower and the papyrus plants, meaning representing upper and lower Egypt, higher and lower self. In the same manner, you, the aspirant who wants to overcome what your vices, your lower self, needs to what engender a movement towards virtue, being better, righteous. This allows what your personality to be purified, and the lower nature is now subdued. You have to subdue your lower nature, young fellas. And then what? The true essential being, you, Heru, shine through, emerges shining brightly to eliminate what? The individual you and all who come into contact. When you live and doing right, you got that glow, you got that aura. Everybody see it in you. So you ain't got to worry about telling about this, on that. No, they'll see it in how you walk and talk and act. Again, it will show within him or her. This tying of the knot is also a form of what? Hotep, supreme peace. While your lower nature, high nature is in harmony. They're not at war. So you're at peace internally. And the uniting of two opposite aspects into what? A unitary whole in the special iconograph of Heru and Set presented earlier. The two personalities are presented as the head of Heru and Set in what? One body of Heru. This is to realize what? That Set is not an external entity. He ain't outside, but rather an outgrowth of our own personality, egoistic conscious, and he is an appendage created by who? Our own egoistic mind that we must control and master that aspect of our personality to move on, to be better. You have to conquer your lower self. That's the lesson, right? Thinkers, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. And in closing, may you all let it be 100, me 100 minus a day. So I never knew that right thinker like you had passed away. I'll be back. Lesson 7.